Okay. What's up, guys? We are live. My name is Jason D. Daniel. This is really crazy for me because I've always wanted to have a show. Sorry, I was having my coffee. Sorry, so you can tell that I'm still trying to figure things out. Got to be honest, I'm pretty nervous about doing a show. I get kind of choked up a little bit. Um, why am I doing a podcast? Now, right now, I'm jumping to a test, guys. I need to test the audio. 1 second here. Right on. Cool. Okay. Sorry about that. This is the test. If you haven't realized, I am testing this whole podcast concept. If you look at the title of the show, it'll say test. Now, I've done over 100 shows, um, but I haven't really done an official podcast like this. The headset and everything, to be honest, it's kind of nerve wracking. Like I can speak on Instagram and talk to my phone. I can talk to people all day long, but to talk to a streaming channel, knowing that it's going out to, at this point, hundreds of people. I mean, potentially thousands. I have thousands of followers, but not everybody is able to, get to the show yet. But I'm working on that. So why am I doing this? One, I'm very opinionated. People have told me you need to do a podcast. And two, I started to get involved more in politics recently. Obviously, everybody's been involved. Oh, let me fix. Oh, there it is. Fix my lighting a little better. Sorry. See, I'm just putting it all together. So as I'm podcasting this month, I'm testing certain concepts, and then boom, on the first of the year, we're going to get rolling. We're going to launch. So welcome to my experiment. Working with the lighting. This is the third or fourth headset I've used. I'm experimenting with. I'm thinking of getting one of those microphones that you just talk into, and different headsets. I'm watching what people are doing. I'm trying to work on where should I podcast, what should my background be, all those things. I'm working on that, and also working on kind of an intro. So that being said, welcome to my show, and I've created kind of a segment. I'm calling it the warm up. Okay, so if you're watching this on X, watching this on Rumble, watching this on YouTube, I want to say thank you. And I'm developing a concept. Now, this is the first podcast test that I've done by myself. I've had guests, I've had people come on kind of acting as callers, I've run a lot of different scenarios. And now I'm just doing a solo podcast, kind of a smaller one, not too long, but I want to see how that looks, how that feels. I've got just to be honest, some graphics I'm going to test. This is a test. Now, when the first of the year happens, we're doing the real podcast. It's on, it's live. So all the mistakes, you're going to see them. You're going to see them now. But please forgive me if I make mistakes figuring things out. So back to my story. I'll just for the warm up on this, let me just tell you my story of why I'm podcasting. I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years. I was doing live TV. I'm a retired hairdresser, so I was doing a lot of hair on my YouTube channel. So if you look at my YouTube channel, you see a lot of hair, some motivational stuff. I've done workshops and conferences over the years, but we did a lot of live TV. Now I'm actually an actor for the last 2 years. I've been in the acting game, which is a whole interesting scenario. So I'm just trying to put all those things together. What do I do best, right? Well, and I'm very opinionated. I've lived a little. I've learned a lot. I've spent time in local politics, working with state politics. I have a knack for politics, and I like sports. So I'm kind of merging all of my concepts and ideas. And I like movies. I like acting. I like TV. I like to talk about a lot of things like that. So I'm just gonna. This podcast is bring all my friends together, and it's a long form, which is really important right now. People are really getting into the long form, shows, and I want to be a part of that. Now, during the election cycle, obviously it was pretty hot and contested. And by the way, I'm a libertarian moderate, so socially liberal, but very fiscally conservative on a lot of things. But I'm a libertarian. I'm in the middle of the road. So when I talk about politics, just keep that in mind. That's my foundation. That's where I'm coming from. I'll remind you of that as we go on further. But I look at things a little differently. I look at things. I'm very middle of the road, on things like war. Well, I'm anti-war, but I'm open-minded, right? Funding education, corruption. I'm very down on corruption. We all should be down on corruption. So I have a lot of things that we probably politically we would all have in common. But back to my story. So I was going on IG and doing a little political hit for my IG friends and getting hundreds of views. And I was starting to feel like, I was a little hampered. Pardon me. I'm starting to feel a little hampered that possibly I couldn't, do and say the things I wanted to do on IG, not because of I guess, free speech or censorship, but because I was feeling a little hampered by the fact that, IG is kind of lighthearted and maybe not everybody wants to hear politics. I get that, right? So I decided, okay, let me just, and sometimes I would stay more in the middle of an opinion and not really draw a line when there's certain things that are super ludicrous that I don't believe in, but I wasn't wanting to push that on people. So, not that I want to do that now, but having a podcast allows me to be honest about what I'm feeling in the moment, and it's not going to yeah it's going to be your choice whether to watch it, right? You're not going to get pushed to your IG feed. So if you're watching me on IG, cool, thank you, or not on it, but from IG, thank you. I am promoting it on IG, and you guys are the reason why I'm doing this. It's been fun. Now we've done 3 or 4 test shows. We also talk sports. I do an NFL show, a live show on TikTok. I have almost 8,000 followers on TikTok. It's a really fun live show. So I do that. So I talk a lot of sports, and this will be mostly just, I guess, a lot of politics, maybe, but it's going to be a conglomeration, if I'm saying that right, a cornucopia of a lot of things. So, okay, so there's your warm up. That's my story. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm planning on doing some podcast episodes where I'm going to talk about what it means to be a certain political party and kind of break some things down educationally. So that'll give you guys a foundation from where I'm coming from. Also, I would like to definitely talk about the news and the things of the day. Now, one of the most important stories I think that's important, pardon me, pardon me, I wish I had like a way to like do a cough. What is that? A cough? A mic break? Hmm. Sorry, I feel a little better. A little nervous doing it on my own. Normally, I have people joining. A little nervous, but I'm good right now. Now, let's go to sports. I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan, so let's talk about one of the most important stories that has been happening yesterday and today. Is Caitlin Clark bows the knee to the WNBA Illuminati. If you haven't saw or if you have not seen the story, Caitlin Clark did a Time magazine. Oh, there it is. Whoop, whoop, no, wait, whoa. Okay, there it is. A Time magazine piece. And Time magazine is very, very anarchist. They're way beyond being liberal. They're way on the anarchist scale. So they're down with death and destruction. To be honest with you, they can promote destruction. If they can promote death in society, Time Magazine is going to do it. They're being run by super anarchist radicals. Just it is what it is. It used to be a very reputable organization. Now Time Magazine is pretty much trash. In fact, who buys it? Right now, a lot of you might buy it for this. It's a collector's item. I might even buy this issue. They have named Caitlin Clark the athlete of the year, which I think is powerful. I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan. I've bought merchandise. I never thought I'd watch the WNBA. I'm stunned that I'm even talking about it now. It stuns me that I'm concerned about it, that I'm worried about it. I might be more of a WNBA fan than any other sport right now, but I'm potentially, or not potentially, I'm most certainly a Caitlin Clark fan. A lot of you were until this came out. I mean, she's a phenomenon. There's nothing that you can say about her that's not fantastic, except yesterday, a lot of people are feeling like she's letting them down, right? Caitlin Clark. So let's if you haven't seen the quotes. So Caitlin, she was quoted in Time magazine. Now look, you gotta first of all take it with a grain of salt. Time magazine is going to do whatever they can to take your quotes to push their agenda because they don't care if you read them for the news. They're not the news. They're agenda pushers. So it is what it is. So they're pushing an agenda. Look, she has a lot of quotes that are completely woke. I read it. I was like, okay, cool. It looked like somebody wrote these quotes for her, like it was a PR thing, like a PR person was sitting right next to her, an attorney. They looked very like generic and sterile. So I'm wondering, was this a live interview? Was these all just written questions? I don't know, but it looked like it was a lot of just quotes that they took out in order to create an agenda. The photo shoot is pretty hot, I got to say. She's attractive. She's amazing. She has a lot of charisma. I can't say anything bad about Caitlin Clark. And I'm not going to say anything bad about this. And I'll tell you why. So here's my point. For all of you that are getting worked up about it, and you think she's letting you down, and now she's gone woke, and you expected Caitlin to just smash the woke people in the mouth in every quote. You'd expect her to fight back and say it's unfair. You expect her to hold the banner of anti-wokeness, or you expect her to be your political, I guess, token or your political totem. You're nuts, man. Let it go. She's a basketball player. That's all there is to it. I don't know, first of all, why anybody cares about anyone's politics, but it is what it is. And why should you be upset that she has to do what she has to do to work her job? This is her job. She signed a contract. She's making like what, 85, 95 million, $1,000 to work in the WNBA. She is an employee. She has a contract with them. So what do you expect her to do, man? Say, I hate my employer. They've been bullying me. They're assaulting me all year, and now I'm going to get revenge and fight back. Look, that's not happening. And if you think she's going to do that, you're nuts. She's doing what she's got to do to keep her brand going. This is not where the world is going. Clearly, Trump won, and that was a message. Most of the nation is completely behind the Trump machine and the changes that are happening. It is revolutionary right now. We are in the MAGA revolution, whether you like it or not. Okay, I'm a moderate. I am admitting, hey, we're in the MAGA revolution. But look, Time Magazine's not. Time Magazine is always going to be anarchy. And this created anarchy. That's their point. See, they don't want to break news, man. They don't want to be newsworthy or, have a statesman on the cover. They want to take somebody who has a reputation that a lot of conservative people like, that she's had. She's been very moderate. She didn't pick a candidate, all those things. Now she's a friend of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift obviously picked a candidate in the major election. Look, Caitlin stayed out of it until now. And you know what? She's still staying out of it. But I know there's a lot of big, famous people, not even close to who I am, saying they're disappointed, they're disgusted, all these things. Why would you do that to somebody who's just trying to keep her job? Now, look, I'm a huge fan. I bought a jersey. I'm in. I watched every game. I do a lot of my TikToks hit millions when I talk about Caitlin Clark. I'm a TikToker about Caitlin Clark. Okay, I've studied her game, and I had no clue I'd be studying the WNBA like I've been studying it. And here's my where I'm going with this is, you should not be shocked if you know the WNBA. They are run by an Illuminati group of very old school basketball players that are full of jealousy. They're full of bitterness. Most of them are broke. No one cares about them. They're not famous. They can't dunk. Let's be real. Nobody's come out like this in 20 years. So Caitlin Clark comes out like this, and she's unstoppable. In fact, they had to start to ref the game illegally. If you have watched the games like I have, so first of all, if you haven't watched as many games as I have or others, if you haven't watched any games, you have no opinion on what Caitlin Clark is saying. You have no idea what it's like to have to work in an environment where everybody is against you. Now, maybe you do, but my point is, on this level, the entire world of the WNBA was against her. We're talking famous stars talking down to her, ridiculing her, bullying her. And she played and shut her mouth and said the right things and was an amazing supporter of her team. So why would you expect her to come out and say they've been unfair to me? I'll say this too. When you're as rich as fuck like she is and more famous than any other athlete, what do you have to complain about? It would only seem like sour grapes. So I'm not saying that this was the right move if she's going to be a politician, but she's not. She's not. But look, I'll say this. She's not the Michael Jordan you thought she was going to be. That's the only thing that kind of disappointed me, in the sense that I thought she was a killer. I thought she was vicious. She's not. She's not a killer, because a killer wouldn't do this interview. They wouldn't say anything. Look, remember when Michael Jordan, maybe some of you are too young to remember this, when the Democrat Party tried to pull Michael Jordan in, Michael Jordan was at the zenith of his powers. They win a champion, what was like maybe the second or third championship. He could do no wrong. The biggest advertiser, Air Jordan, McDonald's. It was insane, right? Nike, it was crazy. The Democrats came to him and said, we need you to endorse candidates. You're not doing your part. This is who. Know your place, Michael Jordan. We made you famous. All these cats, Jesse Jackson, really famous cats in politics, left-wing folks were like, Democrats were like, you need to support candidates in the election cycle. You know what Michael Jordan said? He said Republicans buy shoes too for their kids. That's what he said. Michael Jordan was smart enough to say, I do sports, motherfucker. I'm not in this thing. But the problem is we've got LeBron James. He's pretty much the guy that started this. Would Kobe do this? Of course not. LeBron James became very active in being a social justice warrior and a politician, essentially. LeBron James will run for public office. He's already set that up. What else is left for a guy like that? Like a Schwarzenegger thing. He started this, right? So he talked about so many things he had no business talking about because he's a sports guy. And so when people were saying, hey, just play basketball, stop getting involved in this stuff, and he got upset and saying, I should have my opinion. Yeah, you should have your opinion, but it's like Taylor Swift and rock stars. I don't care what a rock star thinks about politics. I mean, their opinion counts, but not for me. So just because I like Kid Rock's Bull God or whatever that song is, and that song kind of rocks, doesn't mean I'm going to do what Kid Rock says on politics. You're just dumb. So if LeBron James makes you vote for a candidate, you're dumb. And apparently it didn't work for him because he has a lot of social media power, but he did bring in votes for Harris. So we know that doesn't work. We know the twerking. We know all that stuff doesn't work. So my point is, she's not like Jordan like I thought she was. I really thought she was the next Jordan. I really thought Caitlin Clark will be the next Jordan. Championships. Now, Jordan didn't win a championship his first year. He didn't come out, but he was just like this. He was amazing like she is, and no one could stop him, and no one can stop her, and she's the most famous athlete, bringing in she's more than maybe a $3 billion franchise this year. You just don't even know the numbers. You don't know the impact because they're still figuring that out. And if she wasn't that impressive and famous, time wouldn't do this. So it is what it is. I don't think she's bowing. Well, she's bowing the knee to the WNBA Illuminati, but because she has to. But I don't think she's bowing the knee to the woke mob. I don't think that. I don't see it that way. I see it as her being a business person and doing the right thing for her brand. Look, now the one thing I'll say, and I'll wrap this up because I wanted this to be short today, and I could go on more and more. But the last thing I'll say is I was definitely feeling very upset when she was being abused on the court. And we all know she was being abused on the court. There's no assault. There's no doubt about it. Stuff they did to her, you couldn't do in public to her, or you would be cited for misdemeanors and in some cases, probably maybe a felony assault. You just never know, like whatever state you're in. I'm just saying, we all saw what we saw. If you watch those games, she was brutalized by players that were jealous of her. I personally don't think it was about race. You might, but if you know sports and if you know competition and you know how much these sports stars want to be talked about and want to be loved and want to be coddled and massaged and treated. Here's some cocoa and a blanket. Oh, are you sleeping good? They're so coddled. So when she comes in, these WNBA players that were there before her, they were stunned by what she was getting, the treatment she was getting, and the fame. So they have no clue she earned that in college. But a lot of these OG players have no idea what it was like to earn anything because they weren't playing at a level that they couldn't comprehend this level of fame that she brought in or skill. Her skill way beyond any of these Bolton Holyfield, Tisha Penichero, Lobo, way beyond them. Her potential, way beyond them. I'm sorry. So I know a lot of you old school people think that's sacrilege. Bolton Holyfield, no. And clearly not Cheryl Swoops. Not even close, man. First of all, they didn't have the competition she's got, and she put up crazy numbers while she was being assaulted, and with all the pressure, the financial, the social, the fame. That's a whole nother story. These OGs did not have the fame that Caitlin Clark has had to have on her shoulders. So they don't know what it's like. So there's no comparison. That's a whole nother story. But I didn't even get to I'll get back to what my last point was, is that I will not support her if she cries about being abused moving forward. I'm not going to do a TikTok about it. If she doesn't get a call, I'm not going to see. She hasn't been getting calls. She wouldn't get calls because the referees, first of all, they're the worst referees in any league, the bottom of the barrel. And second of all, way undereducated. And second of all, they're going to do what the overlords want because they want to keep this job. It's a cushy gig, man. You get on now, you're going to get on national TV. So the referees are in the pocket of the WNBA Illuminati, and essentially, so is Caitlin Clark. And that's sad, but it's cool because at the end of the day, it's only basketball. And if you think it's politics, you're fucking nuts. You're nuts to take her and say she's some political icon when she's never tried to be. She's never asked to be. She's never said, I want to be that. She's 22, 23? You expect her to come? Come on. It's ridiculous. She's doing what a 23-year-old would do. Enjoying her life, playing golf, having vacations. She's a megastar. She's going to, obviously have success in anything she touches. She has amazing parents. You don't end up here without starting somewhere, okay? She's fine, man. She doesn't need to be a politician. You want her to be like the other Taylor Swift. You want her to be the Taylor Swift of the right conservative movement. You want her to be MAGA? It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. She's a basketball player. She doesn't have my sympathy now if she gets knocked down on the court. Because, see, my other thing is, I guess the last thing I'll say is that I would see Michael Jordan would never bow the knee to anyone. So she's not the next Jordan in my opinion. She's a step underneath now, because you would never see Jordan, or that's why LeBron is not the GOAT to me. Jordan is the GOAT, but you would never see Jordan bow the knee. I mean, Jordan to this day still hates people he played with. Look, if Caitlin Clark came out and said, you know what? Look, said the quotes that she said, which, look, it's her opinion. I have a problem with it. I am not a basketball player. Haven't had a year in the league. I'm not in the history like her. I'm not meeting these people and like holding their hands and hugging them and having dinners with them. I'm not their friends like she is. What do you expect her to come out and say? I don't support what my friends support. Come on, you're missing the point. But I will say this: if she comes now, so if she had come out and said, I support the fact that I have white privilege, and let's say she said that, which she did, but then said, but I'll tell you this: these fuckers fuck with me. I'm fighting back. I don't care what privilege you think I have. You're not going to give me a forearm shiver when I'm trying to get to the hoop and try to take me out and end my season. That I would totally, I would be impressed with. She needs to be a killer. So my point is, you're not a killer if you do this and you don't do the other. So you can do it all, but you can't do one without the other. So if you want to bow the knee to the Illuminati, cool, but send them a message. Don't fuck with me on the court. Send them a powerful message about what you are bringing to the game. But she's refusing to do that. One, because she's too young. She just doesn't get it. I'm just saying. Two, she's got good advisors, clearly. This is not a bad move, guys. She's made she's made the best moves you can make in this situation. The power and the fame and the money that she has is unprecedented, and she hasn't ruined her life yet. I mean, you look at all the other knucklehead male sports stars that ruined their life. Look, Cheryl Swoops has already ruined her reputation, and she's been in for 20 years, and she got a little bit of fame out of this, and it went to her head. Caitlin Clark is super balanced and grounded. So if you think this is her first misstep, why would you stop watching her? Why would you say I'm not a fan anymore? I'm seeing that all over X. You guys are dumb. You're dumb. You're fucking dumb. All of you fucking idiots on X that are like, oh, now I'm not going to support her because, she's woke. Fuck you guys, man. Honestly, it's stupid. You're not a fan, dude. If that's how you treat Caitlin Clark, you're not a fan. Look, she changed the game. She changed basketball. She's changed sports forever. So get on the train and honor what she's done. You don't have to honor the political words that she says. That's not her job. And it's not your job. It's her opinion. So if you have your opinion, she have her opinion. But I don't think she's a killer. I just didn't see her say, I'm going to mess these fuckers up if they come down the lane and try to hurt me and hurt my career. Now, look, if she starts playing bad and has a bad year, all of you people that hate her are going to say, oh, she's woke, so she's going to have a bad year. Fuck that shit. It's basketball. When you're out there and you're trying to shoot, you're trying to get separation and drain a three for the win at the end of regulation, you're not thinking about white privilege. You're thinking about putting the fucking basketball in the fucking hoop, man. So you guys are missing the point. And there you go. So I hope you liked that little thought. Look, I love me some Caitlin Clark. I'm in love with her. I love the girl. I think she's amazing. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's charismatic. But look, she bowed the knee. And what are you going to do, man? Sorry, I'm going through my graphics here. All right. So last thing I'll talk about. I'll give you a few minutes on this. I thought I could do more, but again, this is a test. If you're just joining me, I'm new to podcasting. I'm doing a podcast where I'm just talking by myself. The first time I've done it, I was a little nervous, but I'm feeling better. I was getting into the Caitlin Clark stuff. We were talking some CC, and there you go. I gave you my opinion on Caitlin Clark. Do not get off the train. Love her. She's amazing. Look, you're gonna forget about woke politics when she scores 30 and 10 assists and she's breaking records and she's dominant. It's all good. Now let's talk about Christopher Wray, X-Ray. And Christopher Wray is gone. He's resigning now. He's going to be there till the 20th or whatever. But it's time to pack his bag, get the U-Haul, roll it up. The FBI is now going to be forever changed. And I know it has a forever changed. The biggest change, I think, in the history of the FBI. Now, Comey was the last big change because we know how he ran shit. But this is going to be the bigger change. This is historic. We know Cash Patel is looking pretty good. Cash Money's looking pretty good to be the MAGA savior. It's going to be crazy. Who would have thought a guy like that thinks like me and you? I'll do it like Trump. He thinks like me and you. He thinks like me and you, man. Look, nobody likes Christopher Wray. He not only raided Trump, he raided, did they raid Biden's garage, the Corvette? Look, this fucker, he raided Mar-a-Lago, which is that. See, Trump will forget. You could try to shoot Trump, and he's cool with that, but do not invade Mar-a-Lago. That is Trump Palace South. Do not invade the castle of the king. So Wray knew it was out. So here's the thing with Wray. Christopher Wray completely took his department and did everything he could to turn the J6ers' lives upside down. I don't have an opinion either way. We'll talk about that later, but he turned their lives upside down, put grandmas in jail. He raided Mar-a-Lago. That's all falling apart. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's blown millions of dollars of taxpayers' money to try to completely jam unpopular and hurtful politics into the Department of Justice. This guy is a waste of space, man. He's a total waste of space. So it's time to go. And now that two things are happening. One, Trump is gaining more and more power and leverage as we're getting closer. Biden is more and more of a zombie. And look, Cash Patel's looking good. He's doing he's doing the smoozing. He's doing the photo ops. He's doing everything he's got to do to kiss the ring of the Senate committee to get him to the final round, which is the nomination hearings. Look, he's going to the hearings because that's going to be great TV, and they want that to happen. They want him. Plus, he's going to say a lot of cool shit, and people are going to be amped. He's a fantastic speaker. That's going to happen. Obviously, Pete Hedgecliffe, Hedgett. I have a hard time saying his last name, but Major Pete Geraldo came out and this morning and said, I'm on Major Pete's team. Everybody is getting in line for what Trump wants. It looks like both those guys are going to go through. So back to Cash Money. I think Christopher Wray was like, hey, looks like Cash is in. He knows how the weather goes. He knows his time is up. And I think if he goes out quietly, it keeps them from going after him to prosecute him, because we know he's done a lot of shady stuff. Everybody knows it. The FBI has way too much power, man. And they're probably listening to me say this right now, but it is what it is. The FBI has way too much fucking power. And yes, they do good things, great things, incredible things that the media doesn't talk about. But a lot of the shit that they have done to make life hard on politicians just trying to make it work, it's preposterous. And then you guys got, then you have guys like Eric Stallwell, who's had sex with a Chinese spy, getting sucked off by a Chinese spy, to be honest. And they do nothing about that. The FBI does nothing about it. They looked into it and said it's fine. They turned off the investigation. Hunter Biden, the laptop. I mean, that goes without saying. The fact that the laptop was real, and then now we know that if that had been actually verified by the FBI, possibly, most likely, that would have turned the election in 2020. Now we're not going back in the past, as Trump said, as everybody says. Let's not go back in the past. But I'm just saying, it's pretty clear this motherfucker interfered with the election, in my opinion. Him and his cronies, he's in charge. They got a hold of Twitter. They did their best to get a hold of Facebook. We know what came out. If you didn't see the Twitter files, you are doing yourself a disservice as an American. Read the Twitter files. We know what they did. We know what they were doing. We know they were spying on Americans. They're still spying on Americans, man. So, sorry, got to make sure if I'm gonna get spied on, they can hear me. We know what they're doing. The laptop alone is egregious. That whole scandal, boom. Then the Hunter Biden stuff, where you had videos of Hunter cutting up crack cocaine on the scale, swinging guns with his dick out, and they did nothing about that. And they said it was Russian disinformation. They said it was a deep fake before deep fakes existed way back in 2020. So good riddance. Look, if they need me to drive the U-Haul there or the Ryder truck and help unload his fucking office, I'll do it for free. Just fly me out. I'll show up. I will help pack his office, and I will do whatever Christopher Wray needs for me to help him get the fuck out. Okay, because it's time. Look, I'm not even a Cash fan in the sense that we need Cash in there. We just need somebody that's not an idiot. We need somebody new. So goodbye to Mr. Wray. Good riddance. And that is my show, man, for today. So thanks for paying attention. Thanks for watching. Again, this is a test. I'm trying to figure things out. I might be doing a live show, maybe every other day. News is breaking all the time. I'm committed to doing a show on the weekends, a long show, and have guests and stuff like that. But there are times I might want to do a little thing like this, talk with you when the news is popping. So please follow me on X, Snap, IG, Rumble, YouTube at Jason J. Daniel. I'm using Rumble Studio. Shout out to Rumble. This is live streaming to X. Shout out to X. I see the guy. You guys are watching right now. I can see the viewer count. Oh, let me see if I got a chat. Okay. Oh, Flex, what's up, man? Dude, I'm so sorry, man. You know what's so crazy is that what happens with my chats is when I have obviously you see the graphics. I'm controlling all that. It covers up the chat. So I'm figuring that out. Sorry, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I did a live one about that. Let me comment back to you. Yeah, sorry, I didn't missed the chat. And it's crazy because if I'm missed the chat, let me type that CHAT. If I can't be if I see messages on my phone, I can't necessarily get to them because we're doing our thing. But yeah, so what's crazy is so by the way, if you're watching on X and you're watching on YouTube and you're watching on Rumble, because you guys are watching now, thank you. I can see the chats all together. It's really cool. Rumble Studio combines them. So shout out to Rumble Studio. So don't worry, if you post a comment, I will see it in real time. So thank you for watching. So by the way, thanks for watching. My channel is Jason J. Daniel on YouTube and Rumble. Follow me there. I do have a Facebook group that I'll talk to you guys about later. It has almost 1,500 people in it. It's going to be crazy. Yes, my show has a Facebook group. Wild, right? So we'll be talking about that. We're going to have some great interviews coming up and going forward. But on the first of the year, I'm going to actually do official shows, and I'll have a routine. and you'll know what that routine is. But thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Yes, please follow me on X, Snap, IG, Rumble, and YouTube. Again, this is an experiment. I'm experimenting. So thanks for going on this journey with me. Your feedback is totally appreciated. I'll put my email address in later on, where you guys can send me an email if you want and send me hate stuff. It's cool. Also, I don't have this in the graphic, but follow me on TikTok. I just do sports on TikTok, and I will be repurposing my podcast. So any of the sports I do, you'll see that on TikTok. But I do very interesting TikToks, millions of views. I have 7,600, almost 7,700 followers. That's a growing, lively audience. We do a NFL show. We do a lot of football, and we do a live on TikTok on Sundays or Mondays. But we're figuring that out. Guys, thanks so much. You're amazing. Thanks for watching, and keep it loose. Hang loose, guys. And we are out. Take care.